So tell me, man, what sort of like made you want to jump on the call?
I guess, bro, just after seeing all these videos about high ticket sales and everything, I mean, me looking at it even in the first place was just because I'm sort of trying to venture out and find a new job to get out of that, like the 9 to 5 life. It's obviously like how you guys advertise it, like, make it out the 9 to 5, do the whole online business thing. And so obviously it kind of led me to here, saw about a bunch of other business models from the online space, but I guess this one really stuck out to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Why did it stick out to you the most though?
Um, I guess just like being able to work at home in your own comfort, you know, it's just been kind of hard to, I mean, not really hard. It's just been a little tough staying at home and getting to spend time with friends and family because I work like 50 hours a week. I don't want to try
Hmm.
and give a sob story, but it's just kind of the reality of it. I work long hours.
Yeah. What do you do for work?
So my dad used to run a landscaping business, like garden work, like all that. If you're familiar with that.
Yeah, I love a bit of gardening myself.
Yeah. So my dad started a landscaping business and he ended up moving out of the state and I took it all over because I saw the money in it and everything and how busy it is. So I've been doing that for 4 years now.
Hmm. Nice. I mean, I like to do bits and bobs every now and then with landscaping, and I find it quite like enjoyable, and I get good job satisfaction from doing it. How have you found it for the last 4 years?
Be honest with you, it has a lot of ups and downs. I mean, it's at the end of the day, you're kind of just trimming hedges, cutting leaves. You're just doing backyard work all day. You're working for somebody else, technically, like you're taking orders from them. So
Hmm.
you get nice clients, you get shit clients, a lot of arrogant people, but I work in like a pretty rich area, so I get a lot of really nice houses, and they actually do pay me pretty well, especially like with tips and stuff. But I guess, yeah, a lot of ups and downs.
Hmm. Sounds like it's quite a sort of fancy area you're working in, but I know in those kind of areas you do get the snobs and like
Mm-hmm.
the political people. So how do
Yeah.
they sort of like you say sometimes you get bad customers. What are they like?
They, I mean, I don't mean to, you know, try and be insensitive about it, but they can be pretty like they treat you like a peasant, you know?
Hmm.
Like I treat you as if they know what you're worth. Like you operate a lawnmower all day. Like know your place. I'm rich. So it's a little bit degrading at times. And I mean, I'm not trying to just complain because I know what it is. Like I signed up for this. This is what I do. And at the end of the day, it does pay pretty well. But, in terms of like what you're saying, a lot of the rich people, like some are really humble and nice, but a lot of them are just like pretty shit human beings.
Hmm. Just chasing the money and not really doing nice things and being nice to people, I guess.
Like a lot of these people aren't even chasing money anymore. They just have businesses where it like runs for them. Like they're just always home and, doing whatever the fuck they want, making probably millions a year. It's pretty insane, bro.
Hmm. And how does that make you feel being outside, mowing their lawns, doing the work for them when they're sat inside, looking at you, thinking that you're below them?
I try not to like let it get to me too much, bro, because I know if I do, it's just gonna make me get in like a bad mental state if I kind of like really put into accountability of what I'm doing each day. But I have to remember that they're paying me the most. Obviously I can go work in like a shit neighborhood, make less and probably get treated a little bit better, but I chose to work in the bigger neighborhoods, make more money and, have to deal with those kind of people.
Hmm. Kind of like a take the rough with the smooth approach.
Hmm.
And you say you try not to let it get to you, but does it get to you?
Yeah, definitely every now and then it gets to me a bit. Like I just like come home and I'm just so fucking over it. Like I kind of just like fuck, like I have to do this again tomorrow, like it like makes me like when I'm laying, just like I come home like at around 6 o'clock, start at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm just like fuck, like I really gotta do the same thing, and I only have 2 days off to like just chill.
Hmm. When you put it like that, it doesn't really sound like you're enjoying it that much. Do you enjoy it?
Mm, I mean, I don't know, bro. It's a tough one. It's like I don't want to just shit on my current job because my dad worked so hard to, scale up this business and find, good clients, but it's definitely not something I want to do forever. That's which is
Hmm.
kind of why I'm like on this call right now. I'm just trying to see what else I can do because I know I personally have the work ethic. Like I have it in me, not everyone is able to do those 50-hour weeks, especially where I live. It's like a lot of rich snobby kids who kind of just have everything given to them.
Hmm. You definitely have the work ethic. If you're putting in 50 hours 50 hours work a week, and you're trying not to let things get to you, but you're still showing up, you're still providing good service to people, you definitely have got that work ethic. And if you applied it elsewhere, you'd accelerate very quickly and excel in that area. So I'm sure that's not ever going to be an issue for you. But with regards to what you are doing, what your dad's built up, what you're running now, how much longer you can you really sort of sustain that? You don't really enjoy it that much.
I mean, like obviously if there's a good opportunity for me to get out of there ASAP, then I would do so. And but like I guess hypothetically, if not, heck, I honestly think like maybe like a year tops. And I'd probably just be so fucking like over with it, like a breaking point almost.
Breaking point. I mean, the more I ask, the more like real is sort of coming across. Like it doesn't really seem like you're doing that well with it, to be honest. It might be paying the bills, you might be getting good money from it, but
Hmm.
every time I ask a question about it, you're kind of telling me a little bit more of the truth. And I don't think, personally, from what you've told me, that that's something you want to do for much longer, right?
It's not that I don't want to, it's just I don't know how it's gonna work if I just completely leave and just let the business go to shit. Like I have to still find people to work it and do it for me. Like obviously it'd be really nice to be able to just manage it. Like I don't like have to do that. Like I can manage it from home and obviously not get paid as much, but like have workers do the work for me. So like yeah, like I'm giving you the bare truth of it, of how it is and like the cons. But at the end of the day, like it's not something that I can just leave like ASAP, if you know what I mean.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I get what you mean because this is something that means a lot to you,
Uh-huh.
obviously.
Yeah.
So you can't just leave it. It's your thing or your dad's thing. It's been passed to you. You've got it now. So you can't just leave it. And you do have to sort of implement something and get the right people, get the ball rolling. It's going to be sort of a big thing if you were to move away from it.
Mm-hmm.
But besides all of that, how long have you sort of felt like this?
You know, like honestly, bro, like truthfully, like after a year, I was like kind of just finding myself not happy to go to work at all. But I kind of just like graze that feeling off. Like, all right, don't be a bitch, Alan. Like at the end of the day, I'm a man. I'm not meant to fucking like not do the hard work because that's just how I was raised to not be a
Hmm.
bitch. I really have to like put a smile on my face and just get my ass to work. So, obviously like a year in, I was like, fuck, like I'm not excited to go to work like at all. But I wasn't able to just leave. Like I had to stay. And, fast forward 3 years now. I mean, it's gotten a little bit worse.
Hmm. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Doesn't sound too good. So you've been doing this 4 years, right?
Hmm.
And During those 3 years of not really enjoying it, have you looked at anything else? Have you tried to get some people in to run the business for you so you can get away from it?
I've thought about it like pretty decently. Like I've been like, fuck, maybe I should have people do it for me, but it's not a thing I've like seriously taken into consideration until now.
Hmm. Why have you left it up until now, though?
It's because I feel like now is the best time, you know? Like started working there when I was 16 and I'm 20 now. So while I'm still like young and hungry and ambitious, it's the best time to do that because if I don't do it now, I'll get into like a complacent spot where I just, feel too comfortable. Like I can just rely on this. And that's not really what I want to do. I feel like I'm ready to put myself in an uncomfortable situation to step out of, just my comfort zone, do something different.
For sure, man. I totally relate to that because that is exactly how I was before I started doing this. I've been doing a job out in construction for 5 years. It's a professional job, it was a trade, but I wasn't in a position to do it straight away, jump into something else. I had to do my time. I had to learn it. It had to be something I could fall back on.
Hmm.
And I wasn't in a position until like a few years into it when I started to feel like, okay, if I carry on, I'm going to get complacent.
Hmm.
So I totally get that. Totally get that. But what happens to you if you like don't make any of these changes and carry on doing what you're doing?
I mean, I'm just gonna see myself rotting, probably, bro. Like, there's not much of a different way I can put it. It's just gonna become like my life, like for good. Like maybe I'll eventually be able to like scale up and make it a real professional thing where I'm making 100K a year, however much I like what can make the possibility of it. But I just like the way I've been thinking of it, I just don't know how long it would take to even find people to like replace me and try and do my job like comfortably. So, you know, it's gonna be a while, and if I keep staying there, keep doing the same thing, it's just gonna be like a gradual process of me becoming like, fuck, bro, like why did I stay here? You know?
Mm. Is that something you want to settle for?
Definitely not. Honestly, I know I can do more with my life. I didn't go to college, obviously. I chose not to because I had a good job for myself already. There was a lot of promising factors in it, but like I said, the more I've been doing it and the more I've been kind of becoming unhappy with it in a sense, it's made me understand that I can do a lot more and I'm gonna do my best to do so.
Mm. I'm a big believer that you can do a lot more as well. I mean, we've spoken a little bit over Instagram. We've talked now for like what, 10, 15 minutes. And just you talking to me, you being a genuine person, telling me how you feel about what you're doing and how you work, what your work ethic is. I genuinely do believe that as well. What would it sort of do for you, like outside of work, if you implemented all of this stuff? If you had people to run the business, or if you went and done something else online, what would that do for you outside of work?
Like if I was able to do this online job while trying to find people to run my business for me,
Either or, for argument's sake, you get away from your job, you free up a little bit more of that energy that's being robbed from you from those people that are not very nice, the snobs. What would your life look like? How would that be better?
I mean, I'd honestly just work harder because I'd be in a better position to really do more and give more back, to my family at least, and try and accomplish those dreams that I've always had and get the things that I've wanted, be able to start skateboarding a lot more again, as that was my passion growing up. It's been kind of hard to, like, I only get to do it once a week, and which is fine, for the most part. Like, it is a part of adulting, having to give up a lot of those passions, but I guess just having more me time would be like a big one.
Hmm. And what do like you just mentioned skateboarding there. Like I was going to ask what you like to do in your spare time after work, but I would have said not much after a tiring day. But tell me.
There's a lot of things, bro. Like I like I'm a very like how do I say this? I don't know. Like I just have so many passions and hobbies, like skating. I like MMA. I'm into fashion a lot and like basketball too. And just like stuff like that, just hanging out with my friends, creating good memories, traveling. I can list so many, honestly. There's a lot to do in life.
Just immersing yourself in the culture that we are lucky to experience. I like it.
Mm.
Stop it.